Hi guys, it's Cass here, and today I'm going to be having a little chat about the Buzzwordathon 2023. So, I was a little bit anxious that Kayla wouldn't announce one for 2024, but last week I think the video came out. So yeah, if you're not aware, the Buzzwordathon or Buzzword Readathon is something that Kayla over at Books and Lala created several years ago, and basically there's just a specific word or a prompt type thing for every month, and then you read a book with that word or prompt thing in the title. So this video is going to be about all the books I read in 2023 that were for this challenge, and I thought it might be a bit interesting. I've got a little pie chart to show you like ratings and stuff like that. So yes, well first I'm going to show you my journal page because I like it. So this is my Buzzwordathon journal page. It is like honey because buzzword, and spoilers for the books that I read, but I'll be going into this a bit more detail. So for January, the prompt was words relating to life or death, and for that one I read The First to Die at the End by Adam Silvera, which is the prequel to They Both Die at the End, and I enjoyed this. It was a nice book to start off this whole challenge because I did enjoy it. Quite chunky, but yeah, it was good. A few of the characters from the other book like had little cameos, which was fun, but in general I enjoyed the book. So yeah. The prompt for February was verbs, which is very loose, and for that one I read Monster Hunting for Beginners by, I can't remember, but the book will be right here. It was a middle grade about this kid who joins this group of people that hunt monsters, and it was a fun time. It was one of those books that has like pictures in as well. Yeah, I enjoyed it, so 2 for 2, happy. The March one was a specific word rather than a type of word, and that was just the word secret, and for that one I read Deadpool Secret Invasion. It's up here somewhere, I can't be bothered because it's behind all of this stuff. But yeah, that was the first volume in this run of Deadpool, which was good. That one was a reread, but I wanted to read this whole run, 10 volumes of Deadpool, so it was good that I was going to reread the first one anyway, and also it hit this prompt for me, so bonus. And of course Deadpool is just fun, so I enjoyed that one as well. So for April it was another quite wide prompt, and it was emotions. So for that one I read The Lost Men, The Harrowing Story of Shackleton's Ross Sea Party by Kelly Tyler Lewis, and harrowing is an emotion. And this was obviously emotional because it's a non-fiction about the people with the polar stuff. You remember Shackleton, but this was the guys on the other boat that was there helping him out, and it was really good. I really enjoyed this book. It was something that you don't really hear about as much because there's always talk about like Shackleton's actual party rather than the other boat was helping out on the other side of the icy bit. So yeah, it was really interesting and it was really good, and I very much enjoyed it. So May was flavour / seasoning, and for that one I read Cinder by Marissa Meyer. Yes, that one. And I'm really glad I read this. It was a book that I had owned for a long time and was kind of and ahhing, like, should I read it? Should I just unhaul it? Like a few times I looked at it and thought, and then I read it and then I really enjoyed it, so I'm so glad that I actually read it, and this gave me a reason because Cinder toffee is a thing, and that was pretty much the only book that I owned that could have fit into any sort of flavour / seasoning / herbs. But I'm glad it was because I finally read it and I really enjoyed it, so bonus. So for June the word was other. This one was a specific word again, and for that one I read Not Otherwise Specified by, I think, Hannah Morowitz, I want to say. The book's here, it's something like that, I think. But this is another one that I enjoyed, so yeah, so far this readathon challenge thing was a good time because I was just reading stuff and actually enjoying them. And this is another book that I had on my TBR for ages and kept looking at it and was meant to read it and then just never got around to it, but then again it was like one of the only books I owned that had the word other in it. So this challenge is sometimes challenging, but sometimes it's also good because it makes me pick up things that I'm not normally picking up, even though I should. So for July it was weather related words, and for that one I read Quiet Storm by Kimberly Whittam. This one is another middle grade book, and the girl is called Storm and she's very quiet, so it makes sense. And yeah, it's just about this girl and her learning to use her voice, and this is another one that I very much enjoyed, so glad I read it. So for August the prompt was body parts, and like is this a stretch? It's not a stretch, but it kind of is. It's not really a part, but it is. I read Love Blood by MJ O'Shea, and blood is a part of your body, right? That's what I read it as. Blood is a part of your body. It's a very big part of your body, so I'm pretty sure it works. But yeah, this was a werewolfy type book about mates and like being drawn to that mate, but it wasn't as cringe as I thought it was going to be, because I was going into this and thinking, oh, this is going to be cringe, but I actually quite enjoyed it. It wasn't as cringe could be. It was a fun time. Who knew? So next up was September, which was game related, and for that one I read May the Best Man Win by ZR Ella. I think it's right here, but it's holding up my stuff, so I'm not getting it out. But yeah, May the Best Man Win, I feel like that fits for game related. I think it's a very good full title that makes sense for the prompt. But again, I enjoyed this one. I know I'm not really going into the books, obviously I talked about all these books in my actual wrap-ups, but I thought it was interesting to like show you guys that the books that I actually read for this challenge were good. I mean, side note, I am coming up to ones that I enjoyed slightly less, but in general it was a win. And yeah, another book I very much enjoyed. So for the next 2 months were the only 2 months that I read books that I didn't already own, I think. Yes, so for October the prompt was magic or magic related, and in my October wrap-up you would have, no, in my October haul you would have known that in October for my birthday I got a Rat Queens volume that had the word magic in it, and I didn't realise because I never actually read the title of it, so I could have read that, but instead I read a book called The Magician by somebody I don't know. This was a short story. I basically went and found the shortest and the most like straight there, write the word magic in, oh it's a short story as well, I'll read that one. It was fine, it was alright, it wasn't the best, but I didn't hate it, you know? And then for November, the prompt was the specific word good, and I do own a few books with good, but they're books I've already read and I didn't want to just reread something, so I read this book called Good for Nothing on my library app. Again, I can't remember the author, but it's right here. But this one I did enjoy. This was about, I didn't even tell you what the last one was about. It's a short story about a magician, obviously, but this one was about these 3 friends who had to do community service and just about their lives and stuff, and one of them's brother had been killed, and one of them gran was ill. It's just like, you know, family stuff and things, but I enjoyed that one as well. And then last but not least, December. You will hear about this in my actual wrap-up, so I'm not going to go fully into it. But for December, the prompt was sound related, and I read The Night Screams by Devon McCormack, and this is the book that I enjoyed the least out of this whole thing. So not the best way to round off this challenge. I give it a 2 stars, which is not something that I give out very often. I think I've given out like 2 stars this whole year. But yeah, you will hear about it in my wrap-up, but unfortunately I wasn't a massive fan of this one. But I completed the prompts, I completed the buzzword readathon, so it's a win, but this is not a win. You'll hear why. This is a contemporary, and it should be dark, but then the stuff that's not dark is not dark enough. You'll hear, I'll tell you in my wrap up. But yeah, I have a few more things to talk about, but first I'll have a little kitty intermission, one that happened just before I started filming this video. Here you go. So yeah, what I wanted to do with this is to see whether this whole thing, this whole readathon, this whole challenge is something that works for me. Am I reading things that I enjoy? Am I just picking stuff up for the sake of it because it's got the word in? Both of those things are true, but I wanted to see like overall in general. So obviously I made a pie chart. So I'm going to just read it off here so I remember. But it's really good because I only had 1 2-star, which you saw. I had 1 3-star, 2 3.5 stars, 7 4-star books, which is great. That's just like my average rating that I normally give out. And 1 4.5 stars, which, if you want to know which one that was, it was this non-fiction book here. It was very, very good. But yeah, I feel like this readathon was definitely a win for me. When I was thinking about doing this, in my head I was like, oh, maybe it's not because obviously the last few months are the ones that I've had least enjoyment factor. Like I read The Magician, like that was the one I gave 3 stars, I think. It was fine, but it was a book I just picked up just because it had the word on it and it was short so I could get it read. Which is probably not what I should do in the future. I should actually look beforehand and like pick something that sounds like I'm going to enjoy it. So we did get all the prompts for the 2024 round of this readathon challenge thing, and I have started planning it, but there are quite a few on there that I don't have anything that will fit for it. So this is definitely going to be something that I'm going to have to look into and probably actually look at it before the month starts, because normally I'm halfway through the month and I'm like, oh crap, what's the buzzword thing for this month? And I look at it, I'm like, right, let me just quickly pick one out, which is why on some of them I just picked a random thing, because I was like, I need to get it read because I wanna beat the challenge, just for my own personal like decision of wanting to do it. So yeah, I feel like for next year I need to look at the prompts, I need to actually like think about it before the month starts, or at least the beginning of the month, not right at the end, which is what I tend to do, and pick out books that sound like they're going to be interesting, sound like something that I actually want to read, sound like something that I would enjoy to read, and we'll see if we can beat the stats from this year. They're pretty well done. Excuse me, my little furry owl fell. How rude. You can't even see him. He's on this shelf here. He's really cute. I'll show you him again. Look at him. There you go. I can't even remember where I was there. Train of thought gone. But yeah, I want to see if we can beat this year's stats. It shouldn't be too hard because I don't give out 2 stars that often, but imagine if I got more 4.5 stars or more 5 stars. I'm really stingy with 5 stars, guys. It's not something I do very often, but maybe we'll be able to hit it next year. And now, just to end this video off, I'm not going to go through all the prompts. I'm going to leave the video down below for Kayla's announcement for the 2024 Buzzwordathon. But I'm going to give you a few that I don't have anything for, and you can potentially give me some recommendations down below of stuff that maybe you'll think I'll enjoy. So, first of all, I don't know how I don't have anything that I haven't read, but one of the prompts is there, there and there, you know, all 3 of the theirs. I don't have any books on my TBR that have there, or there in it. I don't know. Have you got an idea? Because I do not. Another one I don't own is a book with the word every in it. Everywhere. Every time. I don't own any books that I haven't read with the word every in it. So do you have any ideas? I know Every Heart a Doorway exists, but I can never find it at the library or stuff, and I'm not buying it because it's a short, like, novella-sized book, but it's like £4 million. I would love to read all of those books, that series, but they're so expensive and they're only in hardback, and you know what I mean. But yeah, do you have any thoughts? Every. And another one I don't have is a book with the word like in it. I can't remember what's on my like wish list for Christmas, so maybe I'll be able to like hit 1 or 2 of these prompts with books I get for Christmas, but I don't know. So those are the 3 that I'm like actively, I have no idea what I'm going to read. And there's also one about senses. There's so many different senses you can have, but I can't find a book that I own that has any sort of senses in there. So again, if you've got any recommendations of books with senses in, you know, and like you're smelling and you're seeing and you're hearing and all that jazz, let me know. And yeah, do all the things if you want. Do the liking and the commenting, the subscribing, all that jazz. And I will see you in a few days with another video. Bye.